I have to tell you how much it warms my heart to look out and see all these people here tonight. And I want to welcome you. My name is Adrienne Benton Furness, and I am the Executive Director of the Benton Institute for Broadband and Society. Woo! So welcome to our 40th anniversary celebration, the first of two, I might add, with a second party we're having in Washington, D.C. in April 2022. So it's hard to believe, for me, because I was such a whippersnapper, that we had our first board meeting in September 1981, and my father asked me, or I should say lassoed me, into being secretary of the board. So I remained in and out of that position, rotating with my siblings and our spouses in what my husband Bob affectionately calls the nepotism seat. So it's true. So tonight we're here to celebrate family. But also, I want to celebrate my incredible staff. We're small and mighty, I'd like to say. Our board of directors and trustees, and all of you, our friends and supporters and collaborators, to whom we owe the Institute's success. So this is our broadband moment. And while broadband is a key word in our name, our mission to bring fast, fair, open broadband to everyone in the U.S. is about delivering opportunity and achieving equity in our society. Because broadband, thank you. It's true. Because broadband's about enabling access to education, healthcare, economic development, civic engagement, and more. So our broadband moment gains momentum from President Biden's Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. The new law includes historic investments in broadband deployment, adoption, and affordability. Universal and affordable access to open and democratic communications networks, be they broadcast, cable, telephone, or broadband, have been the focus of Benton's work for the last 40 years. And we've supported scholars and advocates to make the factual case for critical investment. But the infrastructure bill is about more than money. At its heart, and at the core of Benton's mission are our values of access, equity, and diversity. To do it right, to achieve truly universal access, we must hear from many voices. And the Act provides support for efforts that will mainly be carried out at the state and local levels over the next few years. So communities around the country need to engage local policymakers, advocates, community anchor institutions, and representatives from vulnerable populations for long-term planning so the benefits of broadband reach every corner of the country. This once-in-a-generation investment must meet tomorrow's bandwidth needs, not today's, not just today's. And if we do this right, the impact will last for decades. And now the hard work begins. You know, a lot of people say to me, 65 billion, what do we need to keep working for? Well, the answer is that we want to make sure the money is spent right and spent for the future. Tonight will mostly be live, but ironically, given our family's history in the film distribution business, it's going to be a bit of a movie night. So I'd like to start with a video message from our family's friend and our Congresswoman, Jan Schakowsky.
The Benton Institute for Broadband and Society has been championing the potential public benefit of widespread broadband use since as far back as the 1990s. In many ways, the work of the Benton Institute and Congress finally came together last month when President Biden signed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. You see, the Benton Institute for years has been saying that in order to build a more equitable society, we must make affordable broadband available to everyone. And everyone must have the digital skills and devices that are necessary to make use of it. That doesn't suggest that broadband is a kind of silver bullet, but it is an essential tool in addressing huge societal problems, including education, healthcare, economic development, climate change, civic engagement, and even more. That's just what the infrastructure bill does, making this country's largest ever investment in broadband deployment, adoption, and affordability. Congress charted a smart, patient path to getting this done. And that path requires finding out where broadband networks reach now and where they don't. Sending the funding to states with a mandate to involve local communities in planning efforts and demanding plans for how each state will close the digital divide. Critically, Congress also gave the Federal Communications Commission 2 years to issue rules to facilitate equal access to broadband services and to prevent discrimination based on income levels, race, ethnicity, color, religion, or national origin. As a result, digital equity, civic engagement, and state leadership are at the forefront. And these principles are why the people, the Benton Institute, has chosen today to honor our perfect. As a 40-year trustee of the Benton Institute, Marjorie Craig Benton's leadership has helped ensure Benton has held true to its core values of access, equity, and diversity, and its mission. Brett Eichner's Alphawood Foundation has generously supported Benton's work in the fight for universal broadband and is the lead funder of the civic engagement program called Illinois' Connected Communities. This program helps cities, towns, and counties around the state to plan for broadband access, adoption, and utilization in service to larger community goals. Benton is a proud collaborator and supporter of Governor J.B. Pritzker and the state of Illinois, whose commitment to broadband infrastructure, digital equity, and community planning and engagement is a model for the nation. And a final personal note, I just want to acknowledge the decades of visionary leadership of the late, great Charles Benton, a treasured friend of mine. And let me thank Adrienne Benton Furness, Executive Director, for the incredible work that she is doing to carry on the legacy and for allowing me to participate in the celebration.
So we're going to start the rest of the program off with a bang because the governor is here now to accept the Benton Broadband Champion Award. But first, I want to introduce you to Matt Schmidt, the director of the Illinois Office of Broadband. Within months of starting at the office, Matt invited the Benton Institute to a meeting of the Illinois Broadband Advisory Council, which he chairs, to present Benton's national broadband policy agenda. And our collaboration grew naturally from there. I actually would like to say it was a mind meld, Matt. We started the Illinois Connected Communities program that promotes the local broadband planning and capacity building that Jan spoke about. And some representatives from our Illinois connected communities are here tonight, including a huge contingent from Digital Latinx Leaders and Summit, Illinois, and our team leader from Chicago nonprofit, the Community Builders. And yes, please give them a round of applause. We began a joint biweekly newsletter called Illinois Broadband Connections to keep people abreast of Illinois' comprehensive broadband strategy, which the governor and Matt have been the architects of. Recently, we announced the Accelerate Illinois Broadband Infrastructure Planning Program, supported by Heartland Forward, which will provide a platform for local governments to plan for broadband infrastructure projects and take advantage of new state and federal funds. And finally, the Illinois Broadband Lab houses the Office of Broadbands, Benton's, and other partners' increasingly wide-ranging and overlapping work in broadband mapping, research, publication, and engagement. And I'm delighted that we can play a part in fulfilling Governor J.B. Pritzker's commitment to broadband ubiquity in the state, the Connect Illinois investment, and the promise of serious and sustained digital equity programming. Please welcome Matt Schmidt to the stage.
Well, thank you so much, Adrienne and Marjorie and the entire Benton team and the entire Benton family here tonight. I can't tell you what a great welcome that you provided me, a native Minnesotan, when I came to Illinois a couple years back. Adrienne, as you'd mentioned, we've been hard at work, standing up what we hope to be the nation's best office of broadband, the best approach to state-driven broadband. And so it's my honest delight to be a strategic partner of yours, a collaborator, to do so much of this good work together with you and with Benton. So thank you. And if any of you have heard the countless webinars that we give, or me talk about broadband, you know that I could go on and on all night. We'll save that speech for another night. But tonight it is my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce to you a man who I have the highest regard for, who brought me to Illinois 2 years ago. In 2019, his leadership led to a $45 billion investment in the Rebuild Illinois Capital Program, including $420 million for broadband alone. At the time, the country's largest state-based broadband matching grant program ever. Now, of course, the years since, we've seen hundreds and hundreds and billions of dollars invested in broadband, but I still think that Illinois does it best. And so, folks, again, it is my honor to introduce to you the Benton Institute for Broadband and Society Broadband Champion, Governor J.B. Pritzker.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. What a kind introduction. Thank you very much. And to Adrienne also for your leadership. I'm really most grateful. I want to just remind everybody that I'm sure you heard in the introduction of Matt that he is a true leader, but I just want to tell you the extent of it. He truly is the nation's leading expert, in my view, in expanding broadband to every home, to every business, and he is I don't know if you know this about him, a former Minnesota state senator. Was that mentioned earlier? So a Minnesota state senator. Now, I want to be clear to all of you, we stole him away because we made him an offer that he couldn't refuse, in only the way that an Illinoisan can do. We asked him to bring high-speed broadband, internet access, digital access to all of our residents in the state of Illinois. It's not a small task, as you might imagine. Not only do we have areas of the city of Chicago that don't have broadband to the home, but we also have areas all across rural Illinois and ex-urban Illinois, 57,000 square miles, I might add, of the state of Illinois, and a lot of it doesn't have broadband access. And so this is not a small task that we asked him to take on. And then we asked him to do it in a pandemic. So, folks, he is doing it. It's amazing. He is doing it. And thank you to Matt for all that you do and the team that helps to carry you and to help us connect all of our residents all across the state. It is really an honor to be here to be recognized by the Benton Institute, and I am optimistic for all that lies ahead as we work together to bring connectivity and opportunity to every Illinoisan in every corner of our state. Our collaboration, your organization and the state, our collaboration is so important for our future. It's through the Connected Communities and Accelerate Illinois programs, we're truly making a difference, empowering our communities at this really historic moment in the state and, of course, with the new federal investment. Let me also congratulate Marge Benton and Fred Eichener. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you do for our state, but also for being in the game in recognizing the necessity of broadband access for all communities. We are further along in this journey than most other states because of the groundwork that you've been laying for years, and because you are so generous and care deeply about the people of our state. I truly want to express on the behalf of the people of Illinois my gratitude. Everyone in this room understands that in the 21st century, you can't have a full access to, well, healthcare and education and economic opportunity without access to digital connectivity. For too long, not enough people, particularly those holding public office, were recognizing the harms that come from leaving some communities behind in the digital revolution. 2 years before Congress passed the federal infrastructure bill, one of my first acts as governor was to make sure that Illinois' infrastructure bill invested in the ubiquity of broadband. So, as was mentioned, $420 million was dedicated to this. I want you to know, because I sat in the room and said it directly to the leaders at the time, this is what I want, and we put a number on it, $420 million. It's not a small amount of money. As mentioned, it's the largest amount that any state has allocated. And again, I'm so glad that the federal government got in the game here, but I will give Illinois credit. We, the General Assembly, we did this first. And I'm really pleased about that. Not that other states haven't invested, but we invested the most. So, of course, I have enormous gratitude to President Biden for leading the infrastructure plan, for making sure that broadband was a central part of it. And, you know, we are, all of us, dedicated at the federal level and the state level to changing what has been a true digital divide to make sure that we have connectivity for everybody. And because we started early in Illinois, Connect Illinois has been instrumental in preparing our state, including its many broadband providers and communities eager to drive better broadband, to seize the historic opportunity created by this unprecedented federal support. We are, let's say, shovel-ready here in Illinois for making sure that we carry out the mandate that we have broadband for everybody. In laying this groundwork, Illinois is poised to open momentarily the round 3 of Connect Illinois, a full $350 million committed to moving the state closer to its goals of universal access to high quality, reliable, affordable broadband, and we're aiming to have that done by 2024. So, thanks to the great efforts of the Benton Institute and other collaborators, we've established increasingly robust complementary programming in community planning and capacity building. This work has been recognized nationally by Pew Charitable Trusts and others as a global model in cross-sector collaboration, and we're not done yet. As we move forward, I believe that one of the best things that we can do in the public policy space is to ensure that communities are not left out of whatever comes next, notably in accessing all the benefits that broadband truly brings. So I was proud as governor to advance telehealth access early in the fight against COVID-19 by signing an executive order to expand telehealth access in our state Medicaid program, and by requiring, and I give the General Assembly credit for putting this into law. It wasn't just an executive order that I put in, but later the General Assembly stepped in. We are requiring private insurers to reimburse telehealth at the same rate as in-person appointments. And I have to tell you, I talked to the CEO of Lurie Children's Hospital this morning, and he told me directly what a game changer that has been for behavioral health, specifically for young people. And I'm so proud of that. And don't forget, as I mentioned, we have an awful lot of rural territory across the state, and they can't access the best providers unless they can do it via telehealth. So Illinois is a leader in telehealth, and broadband makes it even more accessible to everyone all across the state. But for these rule changes to truly have meaningful impact, they require a change in behavior. And I have to say, I was incredibly impressed by the willingness of our healthcare community to implement telehealth initiatives so quickly, while also shifting all of their services amidst this deadly global pandemic. I saw people turn on a dime. And all across the state, not just crediting the major institutions in the city of Chicago, but small hospitals, critical access hospitals in southern Illinois too. That's a testament to what we can do when we all work together across sectors, across industries, in pursuit of a more supportive state for all. And I believe there is much more that we can do. The proof is in this room. I am here to thank you, but obviously I'm accepting a wonderful honor, but I'm honored to be with all of you, and truly this is an award that belongs to all of you, to the state of Illinois, that we are getting this done, all of us together, collaborating, the Benton Institute, the state of Illinois, and many of you who are engaged in this. Thank you very much for the recognition, but again, it's a recognition for you. Thank you.
For a couple of pictures.
I would love to do that, thank you. Let me put on my mask here if you don't mind.
We're going to take a few pictures while the governor's here. Please feel free to chat, and we'll return to our regularly scheduled programming shortly. I'll put her on the floor here. Something fast. There you go. Sorry. Okay.